second home. We come to conquer, no we never walk alone. We dominate, the cream of the crop, drawing all our strength from the roar of the cock. It's all for one, and one for all. Pass a new, we're talking total football. Here we go again, Roy's red machine. Liverpool, the greatest team the world has ever seen.
Hello, welcome back to the Liverpool Groove. What a fucking week it's been. The Saudi club seem to have finally found Liverpool. Lots to discuss at the minute. Going to start straight on it. Fabinho looks like he is on the way. News coming out earlier today that Al Ittihad, I think, have made a £40 million bid. He's apparently going to be having a medical. He hasn't travelled with the squad to Stuttgart, so that one looks like it's happening. I thought that would be the least likely of the two, to be honest, but we'll move on to that a bit more detail in a minute. But what do you make of that?
I was shocked today when you told me. You broke the news like Paul Joyce, lad. I just thought it was something and nothing, and then I thought there was a bit more in it. And then when you look at it and the performance he's had over the last few seasons, he hasn't been at his best. I don't know whether the conversation's been had that he might not feature as much. I don't know whether we've got plans of replacing him internally before he even left. But he wants to go by the looks of it. 40 mil for him at the level he's been given recently. You can't argue, really. And don't get me wrong, he's won everything. He gave everything. He just seems to have aged absolutely rapidly. I've never seen a decline in a footballer like I've seen in Fabinho, ever. But you can put a bit of the blame on that with the way the other defenders have been playing and the way the midfielders have been working. The lack of the press, the lack of support for him. So I think he needs a bit of help. So I was actually looking forward to seeing Fabinho with the fresh legs either side of him. But it doesn't look like we're going in.
No, it doesn't. I mean, like you said, he had a pretty awful last season. I think it's safe to say, with the exception of them last 11 games where everyone seemed to sort of step it up a notch. I think it's impressive that we're able to recoup what we pay for him even after all these years. We've had his best years and we're able to still not necessarily make a profit, but we're not losing on him still. I think is incredible. What obviously does the talk of Henderson as well, and as I say, we'll go on to that in a minute. If we lose them too, I mean, I already think we're a midfielder short of what we need. If we get rid of both of them, I think that means we need three, and I just can't see that happening.
No, I agree, lad. I think on paper we've got bodies there. We've got Pachetic, Thiago, Jones, Elliott, the two new lads, and then obviously Henderson and Fabinho. So yeah, starters we need for at least a proper number 6. Old midfielder just sitting in there doing a Fabinho role. We needed that anyway. Would have been good to get a younger one who could have learned underneath him and seen what Fabinho was like with the fresh legs around him. But if that's not the case, we've got to have some sort of tick up our sleeve. We've got to be pulling a Casado out the bag or something here, because you can't lose. Like, I know he's added a lot of stick, Fabinho, to be honest, and rightly so. He hasn't performed. He hasn't looked interested. He's had no energy about him. He's looked lethargic, and we're fans. We support the team as much as we can, but you can also pass comment when a player doesn't look that interested or looks like he's struggling. So I think we need to replace him big, because he had so much potential. He's had so much ability to drop to those levels he dropped to. It's sort of hard to do without something going on. I seen a video actually. I don't know whether it was Nivea, and he done about fans when they're not in the seat, check up on them. And then there's a Liverpool fan who used to go every game. It's giving me shivers actually. He goes every game and then he's all of a sudden not in his seat, and then he's texting his mate saying, "Oh, I can't today," and they end up gathering around and he's having mental health issues and personal problems. And Fabinho said on it, he'd not long lost his dad, and he was struggling, and it helps to talk. So as much as we come on here and we go on Twitter and we go, "Oh, look at him, he can't be asked, he's not interested," and all that, you don't know what's going on in real life. They're still human beings.
Yeah.
So yeah, you've got to take some things with a pinch of salt and just say, yeah, you might be having a hard time, but in a nutshell, if he goes, we need to replace him big. We really do. And we'll thank him for what he's done for us because he's been a brilliant part of a brilliant team. But I just think Klopp's got this take no shit approach all of a sudden. And I really do think he's just anyone with the slight thing in the head that they might consider leaving. I think he's just going to that. Go ahead. Not asked.
Yeah, I mean, it does seem like that's the case at the minute. Some of the names being bandied about, I'm not entirely sold on. Like you've got this Lavia, obviously, good prospect, very good prospect. He probably one of Southampton's best players last season.
That's not bad, though.
I know it's not, to be fair, but he did look a step above Southampton.
I didn't see him as a centre defensive mid, though. I didn't see it as. I seen him picking the ball up in the middle and marching towards the opposition box. You can't have your defensive mid doing that because you've got your other two mids either side doing that as well. So you can't.
And Mata.
Yeah, Mata.
No, you can't.
He looks a good player, not for the price it's not coming out of our pocket. So I'm not really asking. Just when you're looking at figures, Fabinho's going for 40 mil. That kid's not worth 60. Do you know what I mean? He's worth 10. If you put on a number on players, he's got a lot to learn, a lot to get out of it. Out of football, he hasn't done it yet. So he's only played for a relegated team. And, it was the same with Robbo and Wijnaldum. But you don't want to be paying 60 mil for a kid unless if everyone was after him and we were forced to because we desperately wanted him, then look at it. But looks like it's only us really interested. So,
well, if I'm not mistaken, I think City, when they sold them last summer, I think they did put a buyback clause in there for about. I think it was
weird with that because there was rumours that even if he signed for us, they could still get him back next year, which I don't see how that works ever.
I don't think that'd work. But is it maybe a little odd that they wouldn't be willing to, activate the buyback clause if they have got one? Maybe a little bit, but then it'd be pointless for them because he's just not going to get a game. But I mean, some of the other names I've seen Calvin Phillips linked today. James Pearce said he's one of them, and
I'll be honest with you, I'd be all over it for the right price. I'd be all over it. I would. Do you know what? There's so many people with the same response to you. He's got talent. He's brilliant at what he does when he plays. But you can't expect a kid to play like 10 minutes here and there and perform well. It's just not when you've played every week. If you come through the academy and you're getting 10 minutes here and there, and it's gone from I'm in the academy to showing what I've got for 10 minutes here and there, let's have a go. Your heart's in it. You can't go from playing week in, week out, being the best player in your team, being loved by your fans, to absolutely fuck all. You know what I mean? It's hard. Yeah. He's still young enough to if he shows any intent to come to us and the price is what it should be, you're talking, he doesn't play 15, 20 mil, go and get him. Go and get him. No. Put him in the squad.
I just don't think for me, I just don't think he's the right level. But then we've been proven wrong before, so who knows if it happens. I can't see that one happening, to be fair.
That's us anyway.
The other names that have been thrown out is that Ryan Gravenberch. So obviously he's at Bayern now. Hasn't really had the game time. He was very good at Ajax. If he can recapture that form, it'd be a no-brainer. Again, I can't see it happening. I think Bayern do still think there's something there with him. I think they do probably want to keep him. Then you've got that Amrabat. I've only really seen him from the World Cup. I know we played well for Morocco in the World Cup. That's about it.
The big name we need to do everything we can to empty the pot on Casado. We wouldn't be asked. He's absolutely what we need now. He's versatile as well. He can play right back if you need him. He can play anywhere really defensively. I just think he's got that about him where he's ready to make that big step up, and he needs to do it with the right team, with the right players around him, the right manager to do it. It can't just be a money thing. So I think if he goes to Chelsea, that's exactly what it's going to be. It's just going to be a money thing. I think he'd benefit more coming to us, but I'd obviously say that, wouldn't
I? Do you think can you see us paying 100 million for him if it wouldn't for Bellingham?
Not a fucking chance. It's a dream. to dream, lad. It's hard because, like, I understand the thing with Bellingham, not paying that for him, but really, if he's gone for really like 90 million plus bonuses, I don't know why we haven't gone for it. But again, everyone's saying Szoboszlai's very similar to him. So is it a case of we've gone for him thinking he can potentially be a little bit better and offer a bit more to our team? So we won't know until we see them. But I don't even think he's ever entertaining Liverpool. I think we've made this big agenda ourselves. I think the players, the thing with Sven being his mate and Endo passing comments on, hey dude, you know, that's going to cause murder and that. I think all that shit is just. I think sometimes the players just have enough and just think, fuck it, I'll wind us up. Because these Twitter gobshites just sometimes need to be upset. It's great to see the meltdown sometimes. Obviously, I'd have been in, don't get me wrong, lad, I'd have flipped if we'd have signed nobody. If we'd have still been at this point now, just about to approach pre-season games with no one through the door, and Bellingham's gone for 90 mil, you just sat there thinking, fuck me, where are we going? What are we doing?
Yeah.
But we haven't. We've said it last season. Klopp's very, very stubborn in the players he wants. He will not go out and buy a player just to keep dickheads happy. He obviously thought our midfield was going to withstand the pressure last season and stay a bit fitter than they did, and unfortunately they never. And that's why you've seen a lot of them gone and a lot of them going, because he's had enough of them. He's had enough of them not being reliable, and that's where you put the likes of Thiago in that boat as well. Thiago's probably, ability-wise, our best player. Watching him with the ball is a joy, but it's like having a fucking full-time job, but you can only work Mondays. It's pointless having it. Company's not going to pay me full pay to work on a Monday. So he's one of them that I love him. I think he's absolutely brilliant if he could play every week. Or if you manage them where he played 30, 40 minutes every game and he changed the direction of a game when we were struggling. But you can't work a football team like that, lad.
No, you can't. You can't. Like you say, I mean, the two new lads, I think everyone's excited about them. And to get them two in for the price we would have been paying for Bellingham before add-ons and stuff like that, I think is smart. I think it's good business on our part, and I think we should be commended for it. Obviously, you know, like I say, there's all these outgoings and things like that. The obviously other one is Jordan Henderson, and that's obviously fuck knows what's happening with that at the minute. To be fair, obviously it come out the rumours that they were offering him 700 grand a week for some fucking bizarre reason, and then they can't afford to pay him. And then that's Henderson's fault, and he should be taking a pay cut on a deal he's already verbally agreed in, supposedly. He should be taking a pay cut so they can afford him. But now the team have only got 15 mil to actually spend, so can't afford him anyway. It's like, wait, what the fuck? I think Gerrard's been sold a pipe dream by this club, but they can't afford the fucking bean. And that pipe dream is being extended to Henderson. Now, there's loads of people giving Henderson shit on Twitter, and I don't get it. I think they put an offer on the table, said we'll pay you 300 grand a week, whatever it is. He's gone, okay, thanks. Let me go and speak to Liverpool. Let me see what the situation is there. If I come out of that feeling like this is a better opportunity, then I will accept that offer. If Liverpool give me reassurances, then I'm not going. Simple as. He's gone in, spoke to Klopp. Klopp supposedly said, you're not going to be playing as many minutes as you want. He's gone, okay, that's fine. And then wants to go there because he's going to be their best player, because I couldn't tell you who else they fucking got. All these other teams, they've bought some other players at least. You've got Kante over there, Benzema, fucking Ronaldo, that Mendy, all these other players. So other teams have strengthened, and it looks like they're going that, like the Chinese Super League route, to be fair. But Gerrard's team, I couldn't tell you the single player that plays for them. Henderson
Gerrard
will be
better playing for them instead of managing them, because they're absolute crabs.
Yeah.
It's just
what do you make of all this shit Henderson's getting now?
Again, lad, it's just Twitter dickheads, no identity, couple of egg faces and that, most of it. I understand that people not being happy with where he's about to go and play football, but you can't really comment, lad. If you worked in B&M and Oman Bargain's boss battered women and was racist but was offering you double your pay, you wouldn't think of it. You just go, because that's what people are like. You get given the opportunity to better your own life, and that's the way it is. Now, people are saying, oh, he's already a millionaire. Doesn't matter. His lifestyle, for what he's paying out, compared to, he pays out within his means because he's got that much money coming in. So his outgoings are a fucking hell of a lot go as well. If you can guarantee 700 grand a week after tax for going to kick a ball in a mad country, anyone on the planet is going to debate it, consider it, sit around with the family and go, look what this could do for us. And it is mad saying it because they're already millionaires, they're already made for life, but you're talking grandkids and their grandkids and their grandkids being set forever with that much sort of money. But he'll build academies. I also feel like he'd be going over there like he's done here, with a point to prove, where he'd go and stick it to the government a little bit. And people are saying, oh, no one in the World Cup could do it, but he's a fella with a goal. He'd probably go over there, he'd look at women's rights and the homophobia and all that, and he'd challenge it. And if it didn't get the results he wanted, he'd probably just pack up and go. But in footballing point of view, as I say, I think Klopp is at a point where we moan at Klopp sometimes, saying he's too sentimental and he's too loyal at times. I think this season is just a case of, as I said before, if anyone's given the slightest indication they don't want to be here, there's the door, see in a bit. And I think that's what's happened. Henderson's walked in, debating going, asked for reassurance, hasn't quite got the response he wanted, and has agreed to go. But even that, the journalists are saying that, but we don't know for certain, do we? Unless Liverpool or Henderson come out and say direct what's happened. But as far as I'm concerned, he's going to get minimal minutes, but he's still a vital part of that dressing room. He's a vital part of bringing new faces in, vital part of younger lads getting into the squad and how they progress and stuff like that. He's massive. He's a brilliant footballer, brilliant lad. So it'd be a shame to see him go there, but money talks. So I wouldn't lose any respect for the man because he's gone to a country where loads of other players are going. Like Gerrard's going to manage there. And if there's been conversations at that, you know, they said that when the Saudis joined Newcastle, we're trying to make it a better place, we're trying to change laws, we're trying to make it safer and less fucking third world, really. Then you can only sort of jump on the bandwagon and sign up that. So if he can go off to Saudi Arabia and get a bit of support for women's rights and for the homophobia and all that, he leaves there not just a great footballer, but a legend in Saudi as well. So all these things are going around your mind. You've got to accept it.
I know this sort of regime in charge there at the minute. I know they are trying to make positive changes to. They must know what they're perceived like in the West, and a lot of people will say they don't care, but there's no way they don't care. They want they want good relations with the rest of the world. So of course they care what they look like to the rest of the world. And I know this regime is trying to change. Like WWE have got this partnership over there where they could put events on. The first one, women couldn't wrestle on it. Since then, they've had women's matches and stuff. They've got to be fully covered and things like that. But just allowing them to actually perform there is a big step.
Step forward.
It's increased the amount of matches they've had each event. So I think the last one they done, they had like 4 women's matches or 3 women's matches or something like that. And just little things, and it sounds stupid to us saying it because it's completely just bizarre and insane to us. But like even I say stupid stuff like allowing women to drive, and I say it's stupid because to us it's insane saying that women can't drive.
Put that rule out here.
No, but it is like it's mad, isn't it, to say, oh yeah, well done, you've let women drive. It's like, what the fuck are you? How did them words come out your mouth? But that's what it's like.
That's what's crazy. It's like, yeah, there's women who can't drive because they're fucking terrible drivers. It's not because they're women; they're just shit drivers. There's men who are shit drivers as well, but it's not as funny. But no, I seen a video before of a little girl arguing with her dad. I don't know whether it was in Saudi, it might have been like Afghanistan. And he's saying, no, your brother can go to school, he's a man. And she's saying, no, I want to go to school. And she's arguing a point, and then she turns and saying, it's men who cause all the destruction. Leave the education to the women, and you do your destruction if you want. Leave it to us. And I was like, fair dues, girl.
Yeah, fair.
It's crazy. How you can have an agenda against any sex or race doing what they want to do is just bizarre. But just say if people like Jordan Henderson and Steven Gerrard can go there with a plan to push forward the little movements they're making, then got to give them a try, lad. You can't just say, oh no, it's shit now, so it's got to be shit forever, leave them the way they are. If there is plans to make things better, then you've got to go ahead and support it. But don't get me wrong, I don't think at the forefront of Henderson's mind is how many people he's going to upset if he goes there. It's just the money. It's got to be the money. It's got to be going there and feeling wanted, working under a manager like Steven Gerrard. Steven Gerrard will be fucking in that office saying, please just pay what it takes to get someone who understands me over here. It's just one of them, lad. It's got to be a money motivated decision from Henderson, which again, at his age, I totally understand it. I get it. There's going to be other players who do it. You know, Ronaldo, there was no talk of human rights in that when Ronaldo went over there. There's all talk of how much they can improve the league. Now it's one of ours. It's all hell breaks loose. So
to be fair, Ronaldo only went there because he's not allowed in America. So
you won't be allowed in there soon.
I know, yeah,
but you've just got to. You can have opinions, but our opinion changes absolutely fuck all. Henderson, Liverpool captain, one of the best captains we've ever had, lifted every single trophy you can lift, barring the UEFA Cup, which would be a shame because that'll be happening in Dublin hopefully. And you just gotta back him. He's been told he can't play. So I went, don't want to brag, but I spent an evening with Jurgen Klopp in the Shankly Hotel.
And you have to get that in there somewhere.
Lad, listen to the man speak. I could have fucking went and climbed Everest after it. He just makes you feel amazing. And he's not even talking about you. He's talking about other people, but he just makes you want to go and fucking headbutt a rhino. He makes you just want to swim the fucking oceans and climb Everest. And came out of there and I said to me, Dad, we're going to win. We're going to win next year. And that was his words. We will win again. And I was like, oh, I've got shivers, lad. He's just unbelievable. But I just got this feel from him that he knows what is going on. He said, we've got the players in we want, and if we can see what happens in the future, we'll see and we'll try everything. But he's made up with the signings, and it just had something about him where it was a case of, I'm not being too loyal this time round. If they want to go. And yeah, it was brilliant to get his thoughts on the new lads and stuff like that, lad. And just great. But I do think anyone who doesn't want to be part of this team now, any slight indication that they're not going to work for it or they're not going to be interested in being part of it, they can just go.
Yeah.
And I don't put Henderson in that boat, by the way. You've seen what he's done in pre-season, the fucking physique on the man. He looks remarkable. So that's done me head in a bit because it looks like he's come in with fire in his belly to push Liverpool on. But then
to prove again. He's done it numerous times throughout his career, so he's got that fire in his belly again, like you say.
He's got nothing to prove, lad. Again, I just wish you could. I wish the fucking football players would just fuck social media off. That ends it. We can't eradicate these little dickheads who are messaging people. You know what I mean? You can't because did you read it? I put a post out, I get 50 positive comments and one snarl one, and you focus on the snarl one.
Yeah.
And that's what eats you up because 90%, well, for me, 99% of the snarl ones are bollocks. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Complete bollocks. So that's what fucking gets you and what riles you up. You thank everyone for the nice ones, but then the one bad one triggers you into a fucking horrible mindset. And to be seeing the shit he gets off fucking fans from all over the world who, if we don't win a cup this season, they'll be supporting Man City, they'll be supporting Real Madrid, they'll have Bellingham on the back of the tops, they'll have Bellingham in the profile pictures. These are the pricks that just don't count. They just do not count. And I just hope the manager and the players and the staff and all the proper fans realise that these fuckers just don't count. They're not Liverpool fans, they're just things with a hobby.
No, you're right. I couldn't agree more. The whole Henderson thing to me is it's crazy. If he goes, I'll be gutted myself, I'll be honest. Like, I don't want him to go. I'd understand it if he did go, even though I don't necessarily want him to go there. I'd rather him go and continue his career in Europe and at a team that matters, because at the minute they don't, to me. They might do it in 5 years, who knows? But no one does. But I'd like him to stay. If he goes, we'll wish him well. He deserves a send off. Give him a testimonial if he goes. We've got to do something for him. It can't just be a little video of him saying thanks and what Liverpool means to him. It's got to be in front of a full stadium.
Do you know what, lad? Even like the way some fans, and don't get me wrong, there's some proper fans who are a little bit over the top of it as well. I've seen a few I know who were saying, "Oh, he's bounced in that office and he's demanded playing time. It's a PR stunt and all that." It's a load of bollocks. It's not at all. He's asked his manager, "Am I going to play?" No, you're not. You're probably not. So that's it. You've got to go. But now if he has actually been in and he spoke to Jurgen Klopp and said, "Right, I've decided I'm going to leave," and then it's fell through, the captaincy has got to be taken. In my opinion, I don't think there's no point having your captain through sentiment sat on your bench, where every time he comes on for 5 minutes, you're taking the band off somebody else to put on him. Stupid. The captain, he's on the pitch. Off the pitch, he'll still be a captain, he'll still be a leader, still be a legend. But as far as I'm concerned, your captain has got to be either your best player or your biggest leader on the pitch.
Yeah.
And in my opinion, that's Trent or Robbo.
Yeah. No, I agree with what you're saying there. I mean, it's not Jordan Henderson's character, I don't think, to go in and demand anything. He's had to fight for everything he's had at Liverpool. I don't think he hasn't got an ego. He's not that type of person, you can tell. But if he has gone in and demanded anything and said, or just gone, "Look, I'm off in a bit," then yeah, I agree if it does fall through. And I kind of agree with the captaincy thing. You know, West Ham done it. I think not last season, the season before, the one before Mark Noble retired. He was the club captain, but Declan Rice was the captain on the pitch kind of thing, and he always had the armband because Noble barely played. And I think you'd have to do something similar there, like have a club captain and a match captain kind of thing. A lot of people throwing out Trent out and saying about like how Gerrard got it when he was sort of a similar age and things like that. That's where people seem to be heading down. If they're going with the hierarchy, I think it'll be Van Dijk.
I don't know how. I honestly couldn't think of a Wales leader. Don't think he leads. He's not very vocal. He's not very organised. To be honest, I honestly couldn't. I think his physique and his presence is what's getting him in the shout of captaincy. Whereas for me, if you're talking Liverpool 2005, who's the better captain, Carragher or Gerrard? Carragher is nailed on, your captain. Nailed on. No one says fucking boots to Carragher because he flips. Make a mistake, Carragher's in your face, flips. Player run up to the referee because he made a shit decision, Carragher. Who led by example? Who was the best player? Gerrard. So it's like that. Your captain, your vice captain, I think, got to be that strength. I think if you give that lad the armband, he could reach a different entity. I think he just carries it. I really do. I think there's something in him this season, even where he's coming to train and he's fresh start, new me, ready to go. He's been in a week before the others training. He's worked on himself. He looks a unit. He looks a unit. He's had his dreads gone, lad. So
that's big for me. 1920 Trent's back, lad.
Just got used to him, and now he's fucking cut them again.
I know, yeah.
But no, I just think there's a right time to do it. There's a right time to say you are your captain material. I think Trent is, and it's fucking so fickle from me to say that. I hated him last season. I wanted him fucking gone. Not really, but the shit I gave Trent last season for his lack of tracking back and stuff, and the mistakes he was making and the lack of energy, and then probably his last 15 games, he was absolutely remarkable.
Yeah, it was unbelievable.
Remarkable. Just unbelievable. Like Thiago-esque in all of them. Watching him with the ball, watching him play them 40-yard passes to feet, the shots he was having, the goals he scored. I just think there's something burning inside him now to go and get that captaincy. And we all said, didn't we? He's won everything. How old is he? 23, 24? Where'd you go from there? Yeah. Where'd you go? You lift the cup for your club. You don't just stand behind lifting it. You go and lift it. You go and dream of doing what Tomo done and Gerrard done. You be the scouser lifting. Ah, lad, he's gonna do it. But
yeah, you sold me, to be fair. Like,
like Robbo as well. Like people, there's these fucking plant pots on Twitter making make believe teams with Colwell in. I've never heard of that prick before 2 weeks ago. Is that his name, Colwell?
Yeah.
Yeah. So 2 weeks I've seen some little porn star Chelsea fucking cow ripping Liverpool fans about him. I've seen it and I've seen him kick a ball once. Never heard of him. Meant to be brilliant, fair play, but never heard of him until Twitter fans got on to him. Was he in the Euros, was he?
Yeah, he was a big part of that.
The Euros, he hasn't been mentioned once by any human being I've ever heard of, not once. So, yeah, they've got him in place of Robbo. They've got Robbo out the team. They've got fucking... Some of them have got centre left back, Gomez right back. It's bizarre. Some of them are just thick. But Andy Robbo's massive, absolutely massive in what we do. And again, it's great to see the videos Liverpool are posting where you see how much of an integral part of the team he is. He's in between everything, Robbo. So he'd be another one. He'd be a great captain. But for me, if Jordan Henderson does go, wish him all the best. Hope he wins fucking Parkland Cup and gets to shuffle it. And he earns loads of dough, retires happy, and we get a new captain in. Number 66.
Just to touch on Colwell. So I spoke to Keith from the Blue Day podcast and brought him up, and Chelsea fans like, they love him. They're saying he's the best player they produced since John Terry. And like the talk is with them that they're gonna give him a fucking massive bumper contract and make him first choice immediately. Like he's going to be starting the season for them big time.
Yeah, but lad, don't get me wrong. He might be a brilliant player. We haven't seen him. No Liverpool fans seen him until the Euros. Not one person's watched that kid play footy until the Euros. That's it. So to be putting him in the team ahead of probably one of the best left backs the league's ever seen, best left back the league's ever seen, is absolutely fucking ludicrous.
Yeah, it is a bit mad, like. But look, there's still a lot of pre-season to go. A lot can change. It looks like Fabinho's going. So again, like I said at the start, that for me leaves us with two midfielders we need to get. Who they're going to be? To be honest, like
at the moment, what's your starting three?
So with Fabinho going,
yeah.
My starting three at the minute, if they're all fit, is probably Thiago, McAllister, Sobersley.
The fucking scary part is we haven't got a defender there.
I know, but then obviously was very good.
If that's what we're left with, then that has to be it, hasn't it? Or Henderson.
But I just don't think Henderson's got it anymore. No, he isn't. Sadly, because I think if it was Henderson 4 or 5 years ago, he would have been perfect for it with them two next to him.
You just can't expect Thiago to be fucking busting a gut. He shouldn't even, man shouldn't have to. He's like Jan Mulby. Shouldn't have to do any dirty work. He should just give him the ball.
Still in the middle of the pitch, give him the ball, let him spray it everywhere.
Mulby, Alonso-esque, but I think Harvey Elliott, I don't want to see play centre midfield again.
No,
I want to see him playing right forward where he plays, or behind the striker where he's good. I don't want him having to fucking run around like a headless chicken and retrieve the ball because it's not his game. It's not what he does. Salah doesn't do it. You know what I mean? That's what his game. He's brilliant going forward. The goal he scored for England, don't get me wrong, breaking through the middle was superb quality. But he needs to be out this centre midfield equation now. So you lose another one. We've got no right forward other than Salah. We've got 4 million left forwards and strikers. So you need Harvey Elliott to be Salah's backup, which gives Salah half an hour rest every week, sort of thing, doesn't it? And then we need another 2 or 3 centre-mids and potentially a centre-back because Nat Phillips looks like he's going.
Yeah. I think it's Leeds, isn't it?
Yeah, Leeds. Reece Williams is gone, hasn't he? On loan again.
On loan, yeah.
So we've got Kanate, Van Dijk, Matip and Gomez. Again, 4 of them. Well, 3 of them very much injury prone.
Yeah.
So again,
It's a big summer still, lad. As I say, there's a lot of this summer to go, and I think people are overreacting a little bit at the minute. People are like, "Oh, we're not going to get this player, and we're not going to do this, and we're not going to do that." It's like you're forgetting. We've still got all the rest of this month, and I think it closes like the 2nd of September. So it's like we've still got all of next month to do stuff. Yeah, obviously, ideally, we'd all want it done before. Well, we would have all liked it to be fucking done now, and I think Klopp maybe thought it was, with the exception of maybe a centre back. But there's still a lot to be done.
I think, as a football fan, yeah, for instance, now if we bought 5 players on the first day of the window opening, you'd still have cunts moaning.
Yeah, you would.
You still have people moaning because that's it. Your summer's done. There's no excitement. There's no links. There's no talk. There's nothing to do over the summer. People thrive off little links coming in and rumours, and that's what we do. You sit there all day scrolling on Twitter, Facebook, whatever, just seeing who you link to. And it's part and parcel of it, enjoyable. Once you take it to the next level where you're messaging fucking the owner's wife and players' beds and that because you've got a cob on because they're not leaving or they're not buying players, you're fucking ill. You need help.
No problem.
Yeah, you really have. It's not FIFA. It's not a game. Jürgen Klopp said the other day. Don't know whether I mentioned. He said if we listened to social media's football fans, we'd have to sign 700 people per window. And fortunately, we know a bit more than them, so we don't.
Yeah.
And he also said as well, I honestly, I'm not bragging that he spoke in my direction, and we've shared the same option. I'm not one bit. But I also don't want to say too much what he said because we were told not to record it because he was a little bit heavy on some of the stuff he was saying, and he was very honest. But one thing he said, and he brought up, was that he'd recently heard of Bill Shankly resigning every time he never got his own way and stuff. And he said, I thought that was very interesting. And he said, just so you sort of know, get on with the owners, but in business and professional point of view, we don't always see eye to eye. And sometimes I do go into their office or make them phone calls that I need to make sure we're doing things the right way. And we're all on the same wavelength. So even that, he didn't have to say any of that, but he's making us aware that he's sort of doing what he wants to do. And don't get me wrong, I think money-wise, we haven't got as much as the others, but again, we're still a sustainable business. He said himself as well, like, you've never seen a change in a stadium in an owner's tenure like Anfield. It's gone from 44,000 to nearly 60.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They've spent hundreds of millions on that. They've rebuilt the AXA Stadium, the AXA Arena, whatever you want to call it, Kirby. They've put loads of money into the community and stuff like this. So you can't really knock them, lad. You just can't. As a football fan, if we played on Breck Road in the street and we won football matches and cups, I wouldn't give a fuck as long as we could go and watch them. So all the niceties of the stadium, that doesn't really bother us. We want to see footballers on the pitch playing and winning, but we've won every trophy. So to ridicule ownership for not having a team good enough to win stuff is bizarre because we've won everything against the best team that's probably ever lived, ever played the game, one of the best managers that's ever managed, and we've gone toe to toe with them for years. So I think this season we'll see where we're at as that transfer policy leaves us, but fingers crossed we do a bit more business. I think we will.
Absolutely. I do myself. And to be honest, I think that's a nice note to leave it on. To be honest with you, been good talking with you about it as always. It's always good to have a little bit of a rant, and to be honest, a little bit of sense because you don't get much of it on Twitter. To be fair, so
you get wrong. It's like a divide. There's like absolutely brain dead, and then there's absolutely nailed on right through the middle, all on the same wavelength. And I think it is just a thing of like, I won't say foreign fans because say I've been in a match where there's foreign fans who are on the same wavelength as me. It's like people who are engaged in the match going and they watch every match. They're interested in the well-being of the club off the pitch as well, not just by everyone you see. They're interested in loyalty to players, we don't want to just see Jordan Henderson go because we might get 10 mil. We want to be able to say to Endo, you know what, lad, stick it out. We'll give you the send off at the end of the season, like Bobby got, because that's what he deserves. And but then on the same side, can you turn down 40 mil for Fabinho, whose legs have gone? No, you can't. So you just need. We're all on different wavelengths, but the ones who are on the same wavelength and are supportive of the team, whilst critical when they need to be, are sound. But the little FIFA helmets just shot you with the PlayStation pad.
Yeah, no, it's mad, isn't it, lad? But like I said, there's a lot to be done still. There's a lot of transfer window, a lot of pre-season still to happen. So let's just watch this space, see what happens. And
who do you think we'll get?
Who do I think we'll get? No. To be honest, lad, I honestly haven't got a clue. Like James Pierce put them names out today, and I don't think it'll be any of them, because if that's what journalists are saying, it tends to not really be them.
I think it'll be a case of, I think if Fabinho's gone the next few days, we'll have someone coming in the next few days. I think it'll be like for like done. I'd like to think there's not a chance that Fabinho goes out with us having someone nailed on to come in.
Yeah.
There's got to be someone nailed on. But I'm thinking, you know, we've been linked with Valverde. Been linked with the fucking French lad whose name I can't say, from Madrid.
Oh, Tchouaméni.
Yeah. So we've been linked. Is he French?
Yeah.
So we've been linked with him. We've been linked with Casado. So putting 40 mil into a kitty that should already have quite a few quid left in it might give you the potential to sign one of those players, hopefully. But we know what we're like as a business. We don't really like to overspend unless it's nailed on, gonna change us. But for me, if we brought in Casado and nobody else, I'd probably take it. And then you've got Thiago, Jones and Henderson on your bench. It's not good, is it?
I'd take it, but then on the flip side, like I say, the issue last season it was just lack of bodies. We had too many injuries and we didn't have the bodies to cover. If we let Fabinho go and only bring one in, I still think we're one short, simply because of Thiago. Probably, like you say, the best player we've got, but he's made the quavers.
Yeah, he is, lad. Not even there, quite sturdy compared to it. He's like a Weetabix. But
yeah,
no, you've got Thiago, even Jones, lad. And again, like, I know you keep saying we're going, but just shut up a minute. Right? No, we've got the likes of Curtis Jones. He's gone from getting shit to having that Euros he's had to people talking about him starting. Now, that's how fickle football is, and we're all capable of it. We've all done it. If we can keep him fit, and have him not relied on, don't be relying on him and putting him under the pressure. He's still a young lad. It doesn't, you can't expect him to fucking go in and change big games straight away, but because he's not at that level yet. But he's capable of it, definitely capable of it. Gerrard said the same, didn't he? Gerrard said he spoke to Klopp about him and said, stick with him. Tweak him how you need to tweak him, but stick with him. Again, Thiago, we can keep him fit or introduce him for 30 minutes, but as you say, we probably need another 2 or 3 in. We just need legs. We need legs. I think he's going to try and give McAllister legs, but he looked dead after one training session. That's not his game, is it? Running around mad. So we need someone whose game is running.
Yeah.
Just run.
No, as I say, lad, I'm not gonna overreact about anything, and I'm trying not to pay attention to a lot of the shit that gets spouted on Twitter all the time, because it'll just drive you mad. I'm just gonna wait and see what happens. Look out for the reputable sources on your Paul Joyces, your Ornsteins, and the likes like that, and just fucking see what happens, lad. If we're in a shit position come the start of the season, fucking criticise away, they deserve it, but you've got to give them the transfer window. You've got to let the transfer window play out before you can throw that criticism out. But yeah, like I say, we'll wrap up there.
We've got to just see how we go, lads. Well, I honestly, I just think we've got to have things lined up. There's not a chance. There's not a chance in hell that Jurgen Klopp's got that fire in his belly as well. Now he's had that season, and again, when he was speaking and he was saying about how football fans will dwell on like not winning the league, the quadruple season, and not winning the Champions League. He said, and the players were down and out. And he said, we've had 364 amazing days, but we've had one bad day and it's cost us bad. So what we do is we go to 365 days next season, and obviously it never worked. I think they were burnt out, they were tired, they were struggling with injuries, but when your manager says, listen, we'll win, then you listen to him. Fingers crossed, telling the truth. But there's not a chance Jurgen Klopp would still be at Liverpool now with the team he had, with the changes he had to make and the rebuild he had on the cards if he didn't think he was going to be backed. He's had to have been told, go ahead, you're ready for the rebuild, go and rebuild. And it is. To me, I'm looking at this as his first season. Everything he's won is in the bag. He's got it. It's in the trophy cabinet, but it's history. Now we're going to make new history with him. I always look up there because he's there, and he's there. He's everywhere.
He's everywhere. He's omnipresent. He's God. Yeah, look, we'll leave it there. That is a good note to wrap up on this time, and I mean it. No, it is. He's fucking. If he believes it, I believe it. That's simple as. And look, we're good. We've said this before in the past, just to talk about the podcast for a very brief second. We've said it in the past. We're going to try and be more active this year. We're going to give it a proper go this year. Like, there's so many other podcasts out there doing well, and it's boss to see, and I want to be part of it. So, fuck it, we're going to go for it. So I expect to see these fucking ugly bastard faces and Jay a lot. Nah, if you can,
and I will.
If you can like,
have a mid podcast breakdown.
Yeah, please do. Nah, but if you can all like this, share it, subscribe on YouTube, follow us on Spotify or wherever you get your podcast, would be massive for us. As I say, we want to be part of this great movement with all these other podcasters and creators. So we can only do that with your help. I'd appreciate it. But thanks everyone for watching or listening, and up the Reds.
Up the Reds.